Hello fellow sim racing enthusiasts, and I hope you're having a great day wherever you are in the world. Well, as you know, sim racing has seen an explosion in popularity recently, and in my opinion rFactor 2 could be doing more to shine a light on its main strengths, which is obviously its highly advanced driving physics, driving feel, and ultimately, its racing. Now, I've mentioned on the forums many times in the past that Studio 397 are doing themselves a disservice by not including more lower powered low downforce cars with softer suspension as official content in rFactor 2. They just seem to be releasing a barrage of GT3 cars, and while I understand the reasons behind that decision, the stiffness and high downforce of those cars essentially mask the feeling of the underlying driving dynamics. Especially for newcomers to the sim, there needs to be more cars available that better communicate the behaviour of the car, and for me at least, it's cars that are a little softer and with minimal downforce that I think better allow you to feel what the car is doing. Because of the softer suspension, the pitch, roll and yaw of the car is more evident during accelerating, braking and cornering, and it's easier for your brain to interpret those exaggerated visual cues and how your inputs affect the attitude of the car. Not only that, but because this style of car has a much greater threshold between grip and loss of grip, the driving dynamics are much more forgiving, and while sloppy inputs will still be punished, the car is less edgy and has a more progressive kind of handling, meaning it's much easier to gather up the car and stay in control, especially during moments of excessive slip angle. This all comes together in a car that has predictable handling, is fun to drive and easy to throw around, but still rewards smooth driving with faster lap times. Ultimately, these kind of cars make it easier to do what they're designed to do and what the whole point of this hobby is, which is creating enjoyable, realistic racing. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I think it would serve Studio 397 well if they could create at least some content that's intended purpose would be to lower the barrier of entry and reduce the notoriously steep learning curve of rFactor 2. The goal should be to give people more confidence and to get them out on the track and racing competitively sooner. The car I'm driving on screen now is third-party user-made content and has, in my opinion, the perfect kind of handling that Studio 397 should be trying to replicate in their official content. But instead of me doing a bad job trying to explain the superb physics and driving feel of this car, I highly recommend that you go and download it from the Steam Workshop and let me know what you think. After all, it could just be that this is my personal preference and that the average user far prefers the feel of a GT3 car. I'll leave the link for this car and also this awesome track in the description below, and also a big thank you to the content creators. If you're interested, be sure to leave a comment below and tell me how you got on with the car and let me know if my points are valid. Maybe I'm just hugely over-exaggerating how good this is, but for me personally, it's just awesome. And so I wanted to share my thoughts on the car and also how I think something like this would create really fun and more accessible racing. I'll leave you with a couple of these super fun laps I had chasing down this AI car, and until next time, have a good one and happy racing.